Hello everyone, welcome to my Module 3 assignment video. The next module will conclude the 2 units on special ed assessment, although observations, conferences, and personal communication, which we will visit in Module 8, could also be considered part of SPED. This module will focus on the progress monitoring aspect of response to intervention. The question that I asked on your baseline survey that almost everyone talked about RTI process rather than the process of progress monitoring. So you're going to be filling out your final baseline survey during this discussion that we have. I hope, if you're wise. However, few of you could describe that progress monitoring process. So you're going to be able to do that after this discussion. In this module, I've created a discussion that looks a little different, and I'm going to pull it up here. There are different writing prompts for each group. As you can see here, there's 4 groups, 4 writing prompts, 4 different things. And even though it may link to one of the RTI handouts, there are actually 2 handouts that you need to read. So even though there's only one for your group, make sure you read both of them because you're going to be responding. Remember, you have to use all of the assigned readings. So This is the discussion. You'll see here there are links. These are just links that I use when I copy the course. These stay here. These don't. So don't be concerned about these. These are just links to pages that look like these here. So that's going to be our discussion board. Each group will have a different case study to read and questions to answer. My objective is to give you some experience with the progress monitoring part of response to intervention, one that is often omitted in the process. Many schools that I've talked with and heard about do not do progress monitoring. They use RTI as just another place for remediation to stick kids. So this is we're going to have some exposure to actually tracking kids' progress and making a decision. Should we move on? Should we keep them here? And using the dual discrepancy model to make that decision, especially in Tier 2. In 2 of the discussion groups, you're asked to post a graph. I have shared the page from the case study. So if you go on to, you can see here where it says Samara's graph. Here it says Alejandro's graph. If you click on that, it'll take you to a graph that you can download. So this is Samaria's graph. Click this download arrow over here, download it, and then you can use the snipping tool to take a snip of this, copy it. All right, then go to edit, copy, and go back to the paint program, hit paste, and there you go, you have it. And then you can use the paint program to draw dots. What I do is magnify it, and then you can use the oval here and make ovals here, and then you can move them around with the arrow keys. See, the arrow keys will help you move this around. So if you go back and shrink it, oop, wrong way. So you can move that point. Oh. Well, if I hadn't shrunk it, I guess I could have moved that point. But anyway, you can move the points around and put them where they go, and you can have a graph that, and I'll show you a couple examples of what completed graphs look like. That's Alejandro's graph, and this is Samaria's progress monitoring graph. So you can see how the people did this, and once they were done, they snipped it again, took a snip of it, saved it as a picture, and then uploaded it. And I will show you how to do that. In this text box, this icon here, embedded image, you click on Canvas, click on course files, upload your picture, And I'll just upload this picture, but you can upload your picture of your graph, and that just happens to be a picture of my last year's title page. So that's how you would put your graph in. And then you can resize that picture if you want. So that's a little tutorial on how to add a graph to your post, and then answer the prompt. Put the graph in first, and then underneath it, respond to the prompt. Then during the course of the discussion, use the reading materials, Salvia et al. That whole chapter is on progress monitoring, and the two RTI handouts that you're going to be using. So in those handouts, you'll learn about the dual discrepancy model, how to talk to parents, et cetera, et cetera. So everything you need is in your reading materials. So don't forget to cite the readings in 4 of your response posts. This is a regular discussion board. Many of you are not doing that. Many of you, in this initial post, you need to respond, not only put the graph in, but you have to respond to the 3 assigned readings. Many of you didn't respond to our textbook in our first discussion. So make sure you do that. You'll notice that this discussion board doesn't end till March 1st because we have all my discussions are 2 modules. My regular discussions are 2 modules. The module 4 doesn't end, it's a vacation week, so it doesn't end until March 1st. So you got 3 weeks to work on this progress monitoring. You still have to make your initial post within the first 4 days or 7 days. So don't think because we have a week off that you can make it later. So if you want A or A plus credit, you got to do it within 4 days or within 7 days. That's it. In this reading, you'll encounter the following: vocabulary in your own word items, curriculum-based measurement, rate of improvement, ROI, and gap analysis. Make sure you put them in your own words and make sure you fill them out as we go along. You don't want to be doing this vocabulary 2 days before the assignment is due in assignment 11 or module 12, I'm sorry. Same with the baseline survey. Fill it out as you go along. This progress monitoring was one of those questions in the baseline survey. So you can fill that out as we're going through this discussion. That's it. It's important that you watch my presentation video this week because it goes into the big ideas of RTI, and many of you will need to fill in the gaps for your baseline survey and for your vocabulary in their own words. Keep adding to that final baseline survey and the vocabulary. Last module, you encountered the terms accommodation, modification, and alternate assessments. If you didn't write them down, you better go back and get them now. They were in my presentations and they were in the reading materials. In module 1, you should have defined summative assessment and the assessment for learning and formative assessment / formative assessment process. So that's it. So I look forward to your responses to this module discussion, which again doesn't close until March 1st. Happy Valentine's Day.